And we're here. It is 7/7/2020. I don't know what that means, but I think it means something. Feels very auspicious.
Something good.
Something good. Something good. So we are.
I'll take that. I'll take one of those.
Right? Like that one post that came out yesterday. It says, it's going to be a miraculous day or whatever. It's like, oh yeah, we'll take that. So we've been talking, right? We've been chatting about a variety of things, mostly around travel and how all of a sudden, I'll just speak for myself. All of a sudden I've been saying I haven't been that personally impacted by COVID-19 and pandemic because I'm an introvert and I live in a beautiful little place and I don't go anywhere anyway, right? So I'm in my little bubble and that makes me kind of happy. I don't really miss that until I start talking about grandkids and travel and all of that. So it's just really interesting how our country continues to, what do I want to say, bubble. Like, you know, some of the other countries are kind of settled, you know, and then we just kind of go, we have this, what is it? This independence that goes, you know what, I don't want to be bothered. And that doesn't mean that we don't social distance, and it doesn't mean that we don't, but as a culture, we're in this like, all about me and you're wrong and I'm right. And I'm so, it's like, why is everything such a fight? I just did a Facebook Live and I kind of ended up preaching a little bit. I was definitely on my soapbox. So I'm going to see if I can crawl back down off my soapbox for this call.
Yeah, I was late because I was catching part of it. I didn't realize. I saw it a few minutes.
Yeah, I was kind of in a rant. And yet what I know is that when we keep doing what we're doing, collectively, we're going to keep getting what we get. We're going to keep getting what we see. You know, I was really touched by all that, all the Black Lives Matter and all the racism and all the white privilege and all the stuff I didn't know. And I started reading, and I talked about it just briefly in my live video, but I started reading a book called See No Stranger. Ooh. It's written by a Indian Sikh woman and about the inequalities that they faced and when 9/11 happened and how her whole family was targeted. I mean, they're innocent American middle California farmers. They've been American for a century and longer, and yet they're targeted. So that's been working to me. I'm going to do a book club on that if anybody wants to join, just to keep the conversations going, even though I'm even at opposition with myself about that. I'm like, yeah, but I'm told about the new humanity. I just want to ignore the other. So today I quit ignoring the other. So that's where all that's coming from. But it still seems to me that the thing that will take us, lead us, empty us is fundamentally love. We can come into that self-love in a way that we can come into love for humanity. It's easier to love humanity sort of broadly than specifically sometimes. But when we come into that self-love, this is my progression for today, I think. Self-love comes to global love, comes to oneness. But where we're looking at the jump from oneness is this allness. And from oneness to allness, just feel into that and see if you have the same feeling that I have. From oneness, I've been teaching oneness, 20 years or something, like we are one and we are one and we're one and, love everybody and humanity and the earth and all of that. And there's nothing wrong at all about any of that. But what I'm feeling now is that oneness is the doorway to this allness of the universe. And when we land in allness, it's like we go from the plane of reality to this other plane. So those of you who've been with me for maybe longer than Kate, maybe you've heard me say it too, but it's like this pop over into a new realm, a new reality, a new perspective, a new place. And so our work is to move to that place energetically, because it's almost like my friend Solara keeps talking about, it's like we're birthing almost a new species. And Bird, for decades have been talking about universal human, from the separated human to universal human to this, but it's I'm still on my soapbox. I'm really trying to climb down. Either that or I need to go preach in a church. That's what I need. I need a platform. But when we land, and I think what happened for me over the weekend, and we had the lunar eclipse and we had the full moon, and what happened for me is I landed in a different place. I went, oh, there it is. Like I've been touching it. And then it was like, instead of like popping up to it like the door opened and it settled over me. It was like settled into me, like, so, oh, there, oh. So I want to open the door today to explore that and see what happens, and really see what, what the group wants. So checking in, I guess that was my check-in. So let's do some checking, and then let's just go do the power work and see what comes. We were kind of checking in anyway, but anything that you were aware of since last week's?
Hello, there we are. I might have been. I had you come up on a record.
I heard me.
I didn't mean to do that.
That's how
you were sitting down here. My God, you wanted to do stereo.
That's how long Rob listens to me too. He'll flip through and my voice will come on that long. He's that quick to get me off.
Enough's enough.
Anyway, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to jump out there.
Please.
There's, it's so amazing for me to go from day to day or week to week or moment to moment. And last week I was feeling very here and in a sweet spot. We want to call it the still point, but it was a sweet spot, and just kind of flowed. And then it's funny, your video actually the comments on your video is I found before the call kind of triggered me a little bit. And I went, oh, that's interesting. But we were coming into the holiday weekend, and we enjoyed certain things. You saw pictures I posted of our neighborhood on Saturday morning. We've got some great young families moving into our little cul-de-sac, so we're not all our age, and they're having a bike parade, and all the little kids decorated their bikes in their hair, and they had big balloons and an arch down for them to race back and forth to. So it was really wonderful, and we spent the 4th really pretty much at home, cooked out wherever we cooked, and watched Hamilton, did all the things that you do when you're okay with being home. And usually somewhere in there, somewhere it hits on Sunday, every blue moon, a Sunday hits, and I just feel like a trapped critter. And we're just going into people wearing masks, and I'll be honest, we did go out for a little bit on Sunday, and they have just, it was delightful to see. But as we came back in, it's like you finally here. But when people bellyache, and my judgments have just been tested this week. If I see one more video with a Texan talking about their constitutional rights to not have a mask on, I just I don't even know what I think. I can't even label them or anything, but I just go there. And Steve said to me one time, he says, "What happened to a collective, a collective effort that's as simple as that? What happened to collaboration of humanity on this level? You know, we're spending this time to elevate up and to be here, and I was finding myself, I couldn't slide back past what is so hard about this. Why is this so hard for everybody? And I admit, I got spun up in judgment. So when I was just listening to your video a little bit there, and I saw somebody down below say, quit tap, it's all baloney, don't tap into media. I just want to go, change the channel. If you don't like your media, change the channel. What? And that's appropriate in more ways than one, because we've had those sermons before about changing the channel. So I realized it was about me changing the channel, but that was coming on right before it came on. Just it's a part of it is that I honestly have been fine with being here, and I'm doing all these things that I could have cared less about, but needed to be done, and I'm getting them done. But I also miss looking ahead. Hey, family's the hardest part. I don't know what it's like to have your family around you. The fact that I can't go see my kids, or I don't feel right about they can't, flying them in. I'm not going to do airports. And we're, the ones that are probably, they have to be careful for us, and they want to. And we want them to come, and it's probably not going to happen because logic will kick in and go, so what if it's only another 2 months, 3 months, So I'm out looking at vacation rentals for November at Thanksgiving going, damn it, Steve doesn't know. That's how I entertain myself. I'm going to find a vacation rental in a nice mountain town, and I'm going to. So it's amazing to me. As I was up on a high ladder today and still scraping that damn paper off the walls, as I went up the ladder, I was doing the breath work where you lift up. And so we use this as your tool. You're physically doing it, and it's a high ladder. So do the, and moving up, and so I'm just saying, it's just right now I just feel like I'm the epitome of contrast. I can go and I can do it, and I felt great about doing it. And then I have these little things that can just spin me like a rent cycle. So that's what's going on. Yeah, life.
Looks like, there you go.
Yeah, didn't hit it right. I saw a commercial yesterday in the midst of something that just got my attention, and I'm not a TV watcher. I do other things and kind of listen. And this commercial started out and it said, "What are you invested in?" And boy, that got my attention so big. And they went on, it was about investments, but they said most people will say I'm in this and I'm invested in that. And they said, but then there's people that say I invest in social relationships and CSAs and things like that. And it was so interesting. And then they went back into you should invest your money with them, but I cut that off because I didn't care about that. But I thought, what am I invested in? And it's such a provocative question. Because what am I really invested in? And then if I'm really invested in that, do I really put all my available assets toward that? Or just a little tiny speck of them, you know? And this has been a trying week for me too. It's kind of like you said, Nancy, kind of up and down and all around. And I found myself getting so tired of everything from, you know, don't wear masks, we won't wear masks, you should wear masks, you know, and then all of the unrest with Black Lives Matter and all of those different things. And I so much support all of that, but I got so tired of the polarity. It seemed like there was almost nothing that I could find that humanity centered in on one thing and said, yeah, we all agree with that. And I felt myself going, you know, and I have a son-in-law that's African American, and and a grandchild that's African American, and I thought about how tired I was of that, and then I thought, you know, I have the ability to step off of that and say I'm not going to step into that anymore, but he doesn't. He does not. He cannot step away. And that just really struck me also.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm like you, Nancy. I've been doing pretty good staying at home. But like all of a sudden, I'm like, well, I want to go somewhere. And then I say, where? And I'm like, I don't know. You know, it's just, you know, and then I get all irritated. And I finally had to shut up because there was this whole big controversy over people being at this demonstration and not wearing masks. And then people making comments on that. And then, well, how brave of them to make a comment to somebody else, even though it's not popular. And I found myself commenting on a couple people. I saw so many people have July 4th gatherings, arm in arm with their friends and neighbors, nobody wearing masks, posting all their pictures on Facebook. And so I just started adding these little comments and said, I hope you're safe and taking good care of yourself. And finally, I'm like, just shut up. You know, don't fuel the fire. But there's a lot of fire. And I did find myself feeling a little bit burned from all the fire. And then realizing that sometimes there are people that cannot step away from it. And so it was kind of a combination of lots of insights, and I'm kind of tired.
Yeah.
So that's where I am.
Yeah. 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 Lots of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it is part of our white privilege, right? That we can take a break.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, whoa, that was weird. When that one hit me too. Surprising.
Me?
Yep.
Well, I don't even really know what to say. It's been a busy month since we last got together, and
Right.
I've been on calls since 6 a.m. this morning. My ears are beginning to feel, you know, cauliflower eared like, and almost nonstop. I mean, I think I had 2 breaks in between a couple of the calls, and that's not bad. You know, that's not a bad thing. I mean, the day goes really quick when that happens. You know, you get up and you start a 6 a.m. call. The next thing you know, it's 5 p.m. and you're trying to get off of the call so you can join the one you really want to be on. And so, where am I at? I don't think there's anything, I can't point to anything that's going on right now other than to say I'm kind of, you know, I'm kind of in a neutral state. You know, I don't have any, I mean, I could easily fling myself off a cliff at some of the people who are seemingly uncaring and really don't care if you get their virus or not, because they have a right to cough, sneeze, and spew, you know. So, but if I carried that all the time, I would become a raging maniac myself, and I can't carry it. But I'm like some of the others, like Nancy, I think said, you know, what do you do with it? What do you do with that energy? So, you know, because it's anytime you turn on the TV, anytime you interact with others, as I do daily, I hear the same kind of things, you know. It's like, so it's like a, you know, carrying a yoke around, you know, that you just, so the yoke of society, I call it, you know, it's just, it's there. It's something that we all have to some degree or another. And, you know, I don't know. I don't choose mine to be a heavy one this time, but I can feel the weight of the societal, you know, interaction with others.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a couple of things, you know, maybe what we can do is release some of the burden of the yoke. And yet I think we're all kind of feeling, or maybe it's still just me on my soapbox, but you know, it's like, how do we navigate, right? How do we live in the place that this work is about, and navigate in the world in a way that supports the awakening, as opposed to adding more fuel to the fire of separation? Or maybe we add more fuel to the fire of separation to burn it up and blow it up quicker. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, there is the, you know, the all very bright flame that you step into and it just burns away the dross, you know, so that is one uh, recipe.
Yeah, yeah. So what do we need? What should we focus on? As we'll just go into the and see what comes, and do the what I call the big work. We'll just do the big work. Do you want to bring a focus in?
I would say let's just go for it. The big work, you know, and big work, release, but at the same time, dispersing anything resembling a yoke, you know.
Yeah, yeah. The word yoke has such a connotation to it.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, the burden of the yoke, the heaviness.
So, yeah, I'm trying to think. There's some other uh, spiritual text that refers to a yoke as being something you put on your yoke or something like that. I don't remember the verse or whatever, but
Yeah, it's
yeah.
something along the lines of this is not even a paraphrase, but you know, put your yoke in God, and the burden becomes less. Kind of something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
All right. What else? Thoughts about?
Getting a message across screen, my screen that says your internet connection is unstable. Well, universe, I know that.
Okay, so let's solidify our inner net connections, right? The internet, but the inner. Hey, what do you want to add?
Nothing. We're good.
So let's take a few minutes to really to land in that point of stillness, and even see what comes up, and then I'll just lead us to a place and we'll see what comes up, and then we'll explore it. Sound good? All right, so even though we've been in this container, we consciously step into this container of this group, this container of the Quantum Burst Club. And as we consciously step in, we take all of the things that we've been thinking about and pondering about, and we just allow them to begin to lift as we shift our awareness from the mind and the outer to the inner. We begin to drop deeper from the mind to the head, to the body, to the shoulders, the chest, the arms. Bring your awareness to the palms of your hands. Open your palms. Bring your awareness down your back, down your spine, your hips. Down through your legs, from your feet into the earth. Connecting to the core of the earth, we connect to the core of the spiral of evolution. And we connect to the knowing on the spiral of evolution that there is, before every quantum leap, before every evolutionary leap, there is a breakdown. There is a choice point that is a collective species choice point. As we land in the core of that spiral, we allow that spiral to lift us. We feel the projection of that spiral of evolution, and we go out. Let's go out and out and out along that spiral. We go out a decade or 2 or 100 years or 200 years on that spiral, and we land in a place where new humanity now is. Where we land in a world, on a planet that works for all people, that there truly is equality and beauty and creativity and innovation, that the systems of this culture 200 years forward is supportive of all living thing, of all life. Just allow your body and your being to sink as your vibration is lifted, as you are lifted into this future place of a world that works for all. And see the beauty of the earth, see the beauty of the creativity and the innovation of all people working together, of systems that work together for the greater good, of brilliance and radiance, of joy, of love, of peace, of expansion and consciousness to the lengths we can't even begin to imagine in this moment. But feel what that could feel like in connection. Feel your connection from you to you, you to yourself, your body, your mind, your heart, your soul, your emotions, your spirit. Feel your connection to that which is all, source, creation, God, universe. Feel the connection between every other person, every other culture. Like there is no different cultures. We are all one culture. Feel what that feels like, or feel what that might feel like. And let your system relax. Look around and notice the ecology, the climate, the purity of waters, the health of the rainforest, the cleanliness of the lands and the air and the waters, purity of relationships. The organic systems for organization. We might call it today government. It might be completely different systems. Systems of energetic equality. Systems of sufficiency and sustainability, of collaboration and connection. Of a knowing of the oneness that has become a knowing of the allness. We don't have to know how we go from here to there. But as we land in there, we know that it is already in place. Explore. I'll be quiet for a moment. Explore. Look and see. Ask a question. Discover something. Feel yourself expanding into it and surrendering into it, lifting into it and dropping into it. And what is the quality that you notice? What is the quality that pops for you? Whatever that is, become it. Allow this fullness of the future world to integrate through all aspects of your being. All that you see, all that you sense, all that you experience, all that you can even begin to imagine. And from this point in the future, we turn around and we look at the world today in 2020, 7/7/2020. And just see what you see from a future perspective. See how this moment in time will lead us to that future point. And if you could gift this present time with one thought, with one idea, with one word, with one sentence, what would you gift this present time? And what is your role? Who is it that you are here to be? To open the doorway, to be the bridge. Who is it that you're here to be in this present time? What is the gift that you are to our current world? Whatever it is that you are, that you be, that you bring to gift, that you gift, let's just lift it and 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 gift it to the universe. Feel it. Raining down on present day. Going back down on you, filling you, blessing you as we bless the world, the current world that we live in. As we are the midwifers, the doulas of new humanity. Take another moment to notice what you notice, to feel what you feel. And when you're ready, open your eyes. What'd you see? What'd you experience? What can you bring? Who do you be? Okay.
I felt, well, let's see. At one point, and I don't remember what you said, but I felt myself going down into like a whirlpool in the ocean or something, and not fighting at all, just going down and then coming out the other side, whatever that was. And then what I felt was just such a freedom of movement and a lightness and a no struggle at all, like just flowing with whatever. And then when you said to look back, I couldn't look back. There wasn't back anything. It was like I was just in that eternal now moment, and there was nowhere to look back to because it didn't exist. And so I just kind of hung out in that wonderful freedom, eternal now moment, light as a feather, floating in this beautiful thing of something. I don't know what it was. But that's what I felt.
Awesome. Feels, well, what's it feel? I mean, I think you already said the words, right? But
Mm-hmm.
so if you could put an I am on any of that, just to anchor it in.
Well, I think that one of the biggest messages was that freedom and flowingness of being allness. And so there was such a connected, like nothing was separate. So there was absolutely no struggle of any kind.
Mhm. Cool.
So I don't know how to say that in just like one word.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you
Well,
got one, I'll take it.
well, I'm playing with, for you, I am freedom flowing allness of the eternal now moment or something like that.
Okay, that sounds perfect.
Yeah. So you can recall it, right? Sometimes
Okay, yeah,
a word or a statement, then you can use that to activate it.
I have to write that down now.
I am the freedom flowing allness of the eternal now moment or something like that.
That's a good start anyway.
Yeah. Right?
Thank you.
Good start. Yeah,
Got it.
cool. And then really just memorizing that, how that feels, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Steve.
Well, it was, first of all, the energy of that moment was really pleasant and nice. Enjoyed it a lot. Um, as I got down further and further into the essence of it, uh, I was aware of me holding a candle, but an electric candle. Not plugged in anything. But I knew it was electric. Or energized somehow. And um, I saw an ad the other day, and I don't even remember it was for some financial package or something. But in one scene, there's a young woman jogging down this forest trail. It's a well-worn path. And I'm thinking, oh man, that looks so cool. Like I think I can do that. You know, and trust me, with my knee and a couple of things going on, I probably wouldn't be jogging forest trail, but I felt the energy of that moment, and it just very freeing, very enlivening, if you will. And so what I heard almost shortly after that was, it's a new day, and not like just today is a new day. It's the sun shines all over again, whatever. But like um, every moment is a new day, you know, and I get stuck in talking about how everything's the same, and it's not. There's no sameness. Everything is brand new, and there are some things that look similar or feel similar, but it is all new. And so I just heard celebrate the new day, and you know, um, one of the I ams that comes to mind, but it seems almost too big, is I am the electric light.
Yeah, yeah, why not?
Why not?
Why not? The light in you is ever radiant and electrifying and what's the new word I've been using? Exhilarated.
Ah,
Exhilarated, like the light in you,
mhm.
right? Why not?
That's it.
It's a new day. Yeah, yeah. In the old day, an hour ago, we would have gone, oh, let's pray to wake to a new day and it'd all be different. But now you just access that for us. So how
Yeah.
cool was that? Cool. Thanks.
Uh, let's see how this will come out. When we went into the movement of it, I realized I was carrying something I had not spoken to earlier. But it was in there. So when she was talking about the yoga, I thought, well, okay, it's here. so part of that was traveling with me, which is a perception or an illusion that I have about myself, that I'm a presenter of facts as I best can present them, or read them, or respond to an article or something. And I had a recent one where, quoting facts, a comment came back, well, you can't believe everything you read. Well, you know, whatever, I was just reading the article. And one woman came back and she said, well, you probably are tongue in cheek on some of your response, or you could be arrogant, or worse, a liberal. Okay, I can laugh about this now, but I'm like, holy shit. And I said, I made a mistake of saying something. Well, I'll take that. And she goes, there you go, doubling down on that. The arrogance will do that. And I go, I had to walk away, you know, in a bit to end this. And I will say this, I ended it by saying, this did not go in the direction I meant it to go. And I need to revisit whatever words I used that triggered this exchange. That was not my intention. And all she ended it with was, which could be facetious, was, aw. But I took it as an, aw. But that, I was kind of carrying that, because it was like, you know, when we're presenting our views or our thoughts or sharing, is where's that fine line of the ego coming in, as you were saying in your spiel about, was it running rampant? So the journey on this for me was about getting clear. Not about what I say, do, not those exact words, but clear within myself. And I found, as we were moving up through the spiral and going up, that I saw a lot of previous visions, even of higher self and Sedona, and it was like those were touch points, but they weren't stop points anymore. So it was about still going above that, and just kind of landing there. And I had to. It took some effort to let go, and I honestly hit when I would call the high point of what I was able to go to. I felt like it was almost just an opening, like something, curtains drew back, or an opening up here, and I was still looking in, and I tried to go in, let myself go in, and I couldn't quite get there. It didn't feel authentic yet. What it said was, come back, and come back. Come back. And you know how we are. I swear to God, every spiritual event I have, I used to hear just every Southern Baptist hymn that I could think of that would play. Well, right now, everything in Hamilton is playing. So as we're coming back down to observe, I'm hearing talk less, smile more. And I started, I just have to start laughing. And then, you know, the world's turned upside down because everything was being shifted and changed 244 years ago. And I go, oh, and when you mentioned envisioning, it could be a whole different type of global or galactic, whatever that we'll be a part of. And I honestly felt like I could go the 200 timeline, whatever years is in that. But even before I'd stop and say, oh, well, I'm this age now, you know, I can't envision 20, 30, 50, but I did. 200 didn't. And I felt myself say, oh, I'll be there. I'll be there. You know, I'll be there. So I felt like to come down, what I came back to was, I started to think I was like an observer of it. I think it's what you've just always been talking about. It's more like being a doula, like honestly assisting in the birthing. And there's a song in Hamilton where Eliza sings, I removed myself from the narrative. And it's when her heart was broken and he had, you know, done his thing to hurt her. And she said, and I won't let people know how I feel, and went to live 50 years beyond his to create anew. But I think I just realized I need to remove myself from some of the narrative that catches my eye because it's not. If I'm not holding an energy in there, and I'm not supposed to. I just heard that you're not supposed to. That's not. It's just don't go there. And I know all of you could say that, but don't go there. And it was like let that part rest. I'm still actively involved. I want to know. I want to be a part of creation and solutions and new birthings. So if I just focus on that instead of just hopping through, I call it like a little kid. I always like mud puddles. I swear to God, if a teacher said you can go in recess, but don't go in the mud puddle or you will be sent back, I swear it was like a magnet. I'd walk over to it. I'd think and think and think, and then that foot would go in. It might just toe tap it. It's like giving up the need to dance through all the mud puddles of life. And here I'm talking a lot, but just talk less and smile more because I kind of was losing a little bit of joy around all this. And that doesn't serve anybody or Stevie. so I feel infused in a different way, and I don't know that I knew that word until right this minute. But infused quietly. You just go back. You're not ready to come out yet. Go back. Go back. So
I love infused. Infused.
Glad that showed up.
Yeah. So what I really was feeling is the continuity of life. Like a moment at a time, and it's a big mess to some of our visuals, and yet it's still part of a plan. It's still part of whatever it is that we're walking through, and that this almost sounds like a platitude, which I'm trying not to use so many platitudes because I'm really good at it. It's all going to be all right in the end. It's all going to be all right in the end. Like all is well. And my work is to come back and be infused, to come back and be the electric light, to come back and be the eternal now moment. And to hold that, I don't have to change anybody's mind because I can't anyway, especially now, right? But I just get to be and know that we're in a birth canal or a cocoon or whatever we're in, and that I'm here for what's coming. And I don't have to wait, right? I don't have to wait until X, Y, and Z, until the Texas bars open again. I don't have to wait. I don't have to wait to be it, because when we be it now, then we draw it to us. And all of the words that we were saying, all of the experience that you were having in that experience, that's what we latch onto, not by gripping, but by aligning. And so let's just lift one more time and just align one more time and just give that a great big zing, just like whatever your words were, like one more time. And in that know that this is the big work. This is the universal work. And we're here doing it. And how cool is that? Brings a smile on my face. And I'm really glad that you're all playing.
So you either have sun shining on your face or your light is just beaming forth from your face.
Yeah, it's one or the other.
Either way, or both.
It's that electric light, Steve,
Ah,
you activated. It's
Thank
coming
you for
right
the
through
little
my
mustache.
window.
you are filled with enthusiasm.
Funny.
Enthusiasm, that's good.
Yes.
All right. Anything else?
I think we all look lighter and brighter.
Hmm?
Like,
We all do, yeah.
yeah, thank you. I'm not gonna go listen to your thing now.
Yeah, no,
Good
yeah,
job.
it'll be there tomorrow.
Tomorrow's another day,
I could go do another one and go, never mind.
and that's okay.
All
Thank you.
Thanks,
Love
everybody.
you guys.
Have a good evening.
Bye, Kate.
right, guys. Bye.
I love you.
Love you. Bye. Bye. Okay.